Good evening, everyone, and warm welcome to the BITS Design School info session on this Sunday evening. I'm Varsha Joshi, and I'm delighted to be your host today as we take you through what makes BITSDES a truly unique and forward thinking design school. Before we begin, I would like to extend a special welcome to our panelists, who brings with them a rich mix of experience, insight, and passion for design and education. Let me briefly introduce all of them. Our first panelist, Ms. Nandita Abraham, Dean at BITS Design School. Ms. Nandita Abraham brings in vast experience from the creative industry and academia to the BITS Design School. She's an agile, entrepreneurial, dependable leader who keeps students at the center of everything she does. Nandita's deep influence with people and ability to collaborate and drive outcomes drive strong results, synergetic partnerships, transformations, and growth. Nandita is on a FICCI National Higher Education Committee and has previously been on the executive at IFFTI and the CII National Design Committee. She has lectured at Northumbria University, University of Delaware, and London College of Fashion, and presented papers in Seoul, Taiwan, Australia, India, Europe, and the UK. At her previous role as CEO and president of Pearl Academy, Nandita led her Tihar Gel fashion project, which has now trained more than 300 inmates towards a sustainable livelihood. The Daskar Ranthambore project, which rehabilitated people from three displaced villages, and Seva Learning Center, among other initiatives. She is a mentor for various organizations working with the young people and has been champion of people development in her previous roles. Our second panelist is Harroop Kaur, faculty at BIS Design School. Harroop is a designer, retailer, academician, researcher, and a consultant. She has been involved in creative practices, experimenting with various mediums of expression. The core of academic work is based on her transdisciplinary teaching practices with emphasis on new age learner. She has taught at and collaborated with leading design school as a mentor and expert on curriculum design. A cultural enthusiast, she appreciates food, music, and literature. As a traveler and a high altitude trekker, she immerses herself into nature with a focus on self directed learning. Harroop is determined to engage in holistic education, mindful design, traditional knowledge, and sustainable practices. Our third panelist, Mr. Kumaran, he is a postgraduate with over 14 years of experience in the field of design, education, and career counseling. He has guided numerous students and parents in exploring and building successful careers in the world of design. With a strong understanding of both academic and industry trends, he has been instrumental in mentoring aspiring designers and helping them navigate their educational choices. Currently, he serves as a senior manager at BITS Design School, where he oversees the admission process and plays a key role in shaping the next generation of design professionals. Once again, thank you all for being here today, and I'm sure you will gain a lot of this from this session. In this session, you'll come across the pathways, internships, and admission process. I would request everyone to listen to session carefully and drop your question in the chat box so that we can answer those post this presentation. Let's begin.
Super. Thank you, Varsha. And let me introduce Varsha. Varsha is one of our counselors and one of the most dependable people that we have here on campus. Thank you, Varsha. More later. Kumaran, shall we start? Okay. Super. So, good evening. I know it's Sunday evening, but we are really excited. I hope you are too. Today, we're going to take you through some information about the BITS Design School and then the admission process, how the academics work, and also take your question answers as we, at the end of the session, we'll take your question answers. Maybe what you can do is in the chat, maybe you can just write where you are from to give us an idea as to whether you're from Jammu and Kashmir or Bangalore or Indore, etc., so that we get an idea, know where you are from. Okay, and while that's going on, I can see that we have over 300 students here. But the other exciting thing that I saw, which I've never noticed before, is we have three AI note takers also. So I think that's become part and parcel of where you go for a meeting. Sometimes the note taker comes along with you. But this is not AI, this is real. So welcome to the BITS Design School. This is our campus. I'm sitting on a building just next to the building that you see. And BITS Design School is really where we reimagined and redesigned design studies for the future. Go to the next slide. Of course, we're a brand new school, not brand new, this is our third year. Inside a 60-year-old, very prestigious university. So BITS Pilani was actually started as a concept in 1901, but it was 1964 when it became a deemed university, and then it just went on from there. So today there are campuses in Pilani, Goa, Hyderabad, and of course the newest campus is the Mumbai campus, set up after 2020 when we were recognized as an Institute of Eminence. And on this campus, the Chancellor's vision was to put three schools that needed a lot of emphasis and may have got lost if they were inside an engineering college. So sometimes there are design schools in an engineering college, but you have to follow all the guidelines of engineering because it's so much, the number of students and everything is so much more than there. So here on the Mumbai campus, we have the BITS School of Management, the BITS Law School, and the BITS Design School. And then the idea was like, how do we, like, what kind of a design school is required in India? Where these discussions were happening in 2022, 2023. And we tried to contact some of the best minds from around the world. I hope some of them you'll recognize, otherwise take a screenshot and Google them. Each of them is really special in the way they think. And we also looked at what the industry needs for tomorrow. And then we said, okay, we want to create something special. And so our advisors came in. So they've come in 2023, 2024, 2025, spent a lot of time with faculty, with students, with Mr. Birla, discussing what is it that design needs in the future. And that's how we came up with the concept of the BITS Design School. So at the BITS Design School, number one, we are transdisciplinary in nature, which means that we don't have a focus on hyper specialization. We are developing designers who understand design, but who can also understand strategy, who can understand finance, who can work with engineers, who can work with management people, maybe work with lawyers, work with government, work with infrastructure, and take the power of design outside what one sees in design as just aesthetics. So take the power of design to include and work with all other disciplines and see what can happen with that or how we can bring outcomes. We are intensely student-centric, which means that actually our students are working very closely with us on all events, on all curriculum. They have a lot of agency. They want to tell us the whole time what's a better way of doing this, what Gen Z wants, and how they see the world of design. We also don't want to restrict students by like having a walled garden approach. So if a student is interested in medical devices or public policy, we find ways to encourage them to do that. So I think all the people that we have here are really focused on students. Of course, today we have to be technology and digital first, and the advantage that we have of being from BITS Pilani for that. But that doesn't mean that handwork is not there and being in the real world is not there. You'll see it. We're deeply integrated with the industry. We are from the industry, and I'll give you some examples of that, and global in approach. Kumaran? And what we have at the BITS Design School is a Bachelor of Design honors program. It's a 4-year program, full-time, fully residential. So everybody has to stay on campus. Even if your parents are in Thane or in Kalyan, everybody stays on campus because that's part of the learning and growing, to be part of the activities in the evening, to be with the sports, the theater groups, the clubs, and have like a live or a living campus. That's the goal. It's a BITS Pilani degree, and we are near Kalyan in a place called Kamba. We'll take you there further. Okay. So, in order to develop the designers we want to develop, we had to also get the right kind of faculty. And that's something that I think has been really important, because it's not, if we want our students to be agile, open to learning, collaborative, being able to look at different disciplines, we need to have faculty also who can do that. We need to have faculty who have either studied 2 different things, who've done a lot of collaboration. And if you look at each and every one of these, you'll see Nayan is a biomedical science researcher. We have Nile, who may be doing service design and strategic UX. So different, every faculty, I think, has done multiple things and is also very open and agile, and that's the reason why they're here. We also have a very important team to help the faculty make this curriculum robust. So we have Rabinder, who works with industry partnerships. We have Sanmitra, who is looking at international partnerships. Pritika heads programs. Varsha is manager for incubation. We already have, I think, 9 companies that are being incubated. And a lot of inputs from BITS Pilani. You all know BITS Pilani is very famous for entrepreneurship, for innovation. So Varsha brings that to us. And Sonia plays a very important role in terms of student well-being, student welfare. She's the first person that students go to with any kind of complaint that they meet. And she mentors them and takes them through it. And of course, we have this very special group of people called academic fellows. I can see some are missing from here, but our academic fellows are all designers with maybe 3 to 4 years experience, or they've finished their masters and worked a little bit, and who are all exploring what it means to be in academia. And the very special thing they bring to it is they're much younger, so they can also give ideas on pedagogy. They also mentor the students. They're much closer in age to the students. So it's a really special kind of group that we have over here with the academic fellows. And all this we're doing for our students. This is our second batch who joined last year. This building is the Center of Excellence where all our labs are. You'll have some more pictures of that. And that's the 180 students from last year on our Kalyan campus. They're amazing. And yeah, maybe at this stage, I'd like to hand over to Harroop to take us through student learning. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. And yes, I'll take you through the student journey. So if you see, the student journey is quite an enriching journey, the 4 years as it has been planned. The first year is about experimenting. It's about going through different pathway learning concepts as well as practice-based skills. Here, the students will be exploring materials, aesthetics, alongside social as well as ethical aspects of design. This year is based on curiosity, creativity, and for students to try different things and build a design vocabulary. As they move on to the second year, it is by this time that they have an idea of the pathway they want to take ahead. And they start exploring maybe, let's say, 2 pathways that they have identified, which is at the juncture between the second and the third and the fourth semester. And they start directing their learning towards various pathways through specific inputs as well as transdisciplinary modules which go on alongside. There is project-based learning, there are expert sessions and industry inputs which are being planned in that time. It is during this time that transition from towards a pathway and the choice becomes more consolidated and solidified. It's in the third year that the pathway is fully embraced and becomes a choice that they are fully and highly equipped with, and specific kind of design inclination starts stemming from this particular third year. Here, integration of transdisciplinary input carries on for building a larger worldview, but the focus is on the pathway of choice. In the fourth year is when the horizon has been broadened and the design understanding and the terms of design and how a designer should explore the pathway has now been internalized. So the designers, to be designers now, the students start collaborating with the industry on projects as well as taking up self-initiated projects and defining their own design aesthetic. To see tangible impacts of their design solutions while also learning new skills throughout the semester. You can look at the link below, which speaks about the curriculum in detail. Please take a screenshot of that. You can go through that link and you'll be able to see how the modules within each year have been planned out for the students. Moving on, we have the 5 pathways. Let's look at those. So we have the physical product design, the digital product design, which we also refer to the UI UX. We have the visual design, the experience design, as well as the design research and insights. We'll look at each one of them, and we'll also try and look at a few examples from our second year students' works for you to understand the details of the pathways. So the physical product design is also referred to as the industrial design as a pathway, where physical products are being brought to real life. These products could be everyday objects like accessories, furniture, devices. These products may also have technology and digital integration where we have smartwatches, gadgets, smartphones, etc. The job prospects for the physical product designer are those of an industrial designer, of a furniture designer, a packaging designer, or a prototype developer. If we move on to the next, we'll be able to see one example of our second year students' work where we see the project entailed for the designers to come up with a solution which generates safe, hygienic, and efficient water handling of a dispenser in public and industry settings. While lifting, you can see there is a tremendous effort that goes into it. There is spillage, there is contamination that can happen. And there were other human factors like the strain and the stress that the person who carries this particular dispenser bears. So, keeping all of this in mind, design solutions were first ideated on paper, and then they were prototyped in the labs and tested on the real user before actually making the final product. So this is how the entire process was conceptualized, and we must remember they are just second year students at this stage. Moving to the next, we have the digital product, the UI UX. This pathway not only covers the user experience and interface, it also looks at strategy integration. It also looks at how business research happens, how technology know-how and strategic thinking is coming into play within the design process. Here, the designers are involved from the inception till the final design outcomes within the journey and are not just looking at the aesthetics of the final UI, which is reaching the consumers. The designers are participating in developing, in having strong point of views, in conceptualizing and taking the final outcomes to the actual users for testing. So the roles that these designers see in the industry are developing websites, apps, interface, interactive installations, also looking at data analysis. So these are a few of the roles that are available for these designers. We have an example for you from, again, a second year students project. This is based off a module called Basics of Digital Product Design. The module was divided into 2 components. The first component was to identify a toy and to digitize it into an engaging experience online. Here, the toy that was chosen was a spherical maze and how its playability was kept intact while prototyping it digitally. And in phase 2, the students translated the values that they got of the toy into a productivity app developed to stay focused and organized, and they did the user testing on their peer group. The module covered fundamentals of digital product design, process-driven decision making. They looked at the user's journey, information architecture, task flows, wireframes, UI integration. All in all, it was a it was one project which was at the intersection of business, technology, and art, and delivered it as a design solution. Moving to the next, we have visual design. This pathway entails visual communication, as the name suggests, where we're looking at advertisements, we're looking at layouts, logos, graphic design, animation, any visual which we are communicating through, or any data that has understanding and impact on the receiver. These here, the kind of job opportunities that our students are looking at are those of a graphic designer, a web designer, a brand identity manager and designer. These are the communications which actually influence the business and help in setting the culture of a business, and also for public awareness. So the scope is huge. The project that we want to show you is of McDonald's as launching a new product for Gen Z consumers, a beverage, and looking at how the brand can extend to different kind of quick service restaurants. The entire process took a lot of while in understanding the brand already there, the tone and the offerings of the brand, which is pre-established and already successful. Looking at Gen Z consumers, generating personas, understanding retail spaces, and building a strong strategy around something which comes at the space within the space of nostalgia, reliability, and comfort. The design solutions in such cases take multiple stages, and the iterations come from visual identity, brand assets, mood boards, logos, prototyping, typography, also looking at packaging and launching this into the market through various touch points. So it entails multiple stages of understanding before becoming a visual outcome. Moving to the next, we have experience design. This pathway has a very special meaning in the sense that the industry has moved from retail to lifestyle to luxury and now to experiences. Experiences are known to evoke emotions, and these emotions are something that stay with the consumer and enrich their lives. This can create various spaces. This particular pathway opens space for various kind of opportunities within museums, within sports events, let's say the Olympics, or concerts, weddings, where any kind of an atmosphere and environment has to be created. This could entail some physical as well as digital products and services or environments, like let's say a wellness center or maybe a trade show, by creating experiences which differentiate from what already exists. Jobs leading from this pathway would be those of an experience architect, of an event designer, of AR/VR experience designer, an exhibition designer, anything which entails storytelling and creating an influence. If we go on to the project that we'd like to share with you, so this project looks at reimagining folklore of a headless warrior as an immersive experience that merges folklore, oral folklore, as well as sensory storytelling. The story here is told only in visuals and not in words, and it unfolds through curiosity, fear, control, confusion, and finally opens up as freedom. So what has been used by the students here is light, sound, motion to create a participatory journey with someone who engages in this particular environment and connects with emotions as well as our culture. Here, the designers are intending to look at bridging the oral folklore traditions with immersive storytelling and technology. Moving to the next pathway, we have design research and insights. So this pathway is deep-seated in understanding the user, in understanding research, analysis of data which has been generated. The aim is to gauge the user experience, identify and solve problems in larger spaces. Students here understand how to conduct research. They also look at gathering relevant information and work with service designers and consultants like multinational companies like KPMG, where they are looking at data analysis. They also work with NGOs and government bodies, where the scope of their work is combining and focusing on people as well as data. The idea is to solve with empathy problems that are pertinent in the world at large, and also in an engaging manner. If we see the example of our students' project, you'll be able to see all of this. We are able to see that here the relationship of the design students with the temples in their surrounding areas was the brief that was given to them. The students explored the cultural awareness, the public connection, and immersive design possibilities that arose from that particular space of a temple. They drew insights from desk research through credible sources, followed in depth interviews with various stakeholders and experts, visited the temple, the caretakers, and then conceptualized their own unique design process. The concept generation went through multiple stages, and the prototypes were tested with a wide group of audience before coming up with informative videos, zines, among many other design solutions. So that's a quick preview of the pathways as well as what the students have been doing within these pathways.
Thank you, Harroop.
Your mic is off.
Sorry. Okay. I was going to say that Harroop took us through the pathways, and students choose their pathway at the end of the third semester. And 60% of their learning then is in the pathway, and 40% continues to be transdisciplinary projects. And we look at some of the projects that the students have worked on. And when you go to the curriculum on the website, you can see that further also. Okay, so here you go. The slide is talking about some international partnerships. I think these are strategic partnerships. For example, RMIT, I think they have been with us, done a conference with us already. We have faculty that have done papers and made a conference presentation also. They have come to campus, worked with our students, our faculty have gone there, etc. So these are the kind of deep relationships that we had. We had the Stanford D School also down, working with industry, working with our students and ASU. Apart from these, the intention is, and we have a small list up, to create smaller partnerships where students can go for joint projects, maybe a study abroad, etc. The way we look at internationality at the BITS Design School is that we want every student to be equipped to work in an international environment. This could mean that they get on a flight and go somewhere for a exchange. It could mean that they work with students from another country on a project. It could mean that they get mentored by international students, by international faculty, or work on international competitions, etc. In year 3, so year 3 is the year where we have put credits aside for the international labs. This is to ensure that every student gets an international exposure of sorts. Apart from that, we have a lot of international faculty coming in. We have international faculty who stay with us also. You may have seen some of them, and we have a new faculty coming in this semester also. The idea is not to make our students foreigners, but to ensure that they are as good as anybody anywhere else in the world. Industry is also something that's really important. And from day one, we have industry in the classrooms. We have industry who sponsor or take entire electives in year 1, and industry who sponsor projects from year 2. And we look at some of them. We have 3 internships. One is at the end of year 1, which is a community internship. And end of year 2 and end of year 3 are the industry internships. And the capstone project in year 4 can be industry, or it can be somebody who's starting their own enterprise or developing their own personal project or something like that. We also have industry and placement team. I showed you Rabinder. who's a part of that. And he's working very closely with the BITS Pilani team. BITS Pilani, two teams. One is the internship and placement team. Second is the BITS Pilani has something very interesting called a practice school, which actually links them up to over 500 tech companies around India and the world, where those companies give projects to our students to do. So these are the two areas that we're working with BITS Pilani on. And of course, we talked about the incubator on campus. It's called PIDES. So that is Pilani Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Society. They have an office here in the BITS Design School, and a lot of interesting work is going on there. I'll just show you some things. When we talk about being part of industry, it's not enough to go to industry just to take from them projects, just to get placements from them. We also need to contribute to the industry. So we have spent time over the last 2 years contributing. Here's a picture with of Don Norman talking to the Association of Designers in Pune. Don Norman in Bangalore. We invited all the tech companies to come and talk to him about what is next in technology, what will AI do. And then in Delhi, where we looked at public policy, we looked at governance, we looked at government infrastructure, and what is the role of design and what's the role that design can play. Kumaran, we can go to the next one. We've had Vijay Kumar, who is a futurist and also design methods professor. And when he came also, we called the industry in for a discussion on what is the future of creative systems and how design has moved over the years and where it is going. And it's through all these interactions that we add value to the industry. So then the collaboration becomes much stronger, and it's not just that we are going to the industry when we need something. We can go to the next slide. Okay, this is something that just finished. We had Ice Life, who's a professor from the Stanford D School, and we did a workshop with around 40 industry people on the future of work. So what is the future of work? And we looked at industry like HR, finance, so not the design industry, but how can you use design for employee engagement, customer retention, business growth, new ideas, and to build the future of work. Okay. We also have conferences for the industry. Care Value Place is a conference that we did in 2024 and 2025, where we've called around 70. Can we just go back to that, please? Around 70 organizations and looked at what is the role that design can play in them. And through this, we also got our community projects and some of the projects after that. We can go to the next slide. For the students, we plan it so that they get the right intervention at the right time. So year one, we have something called the Design Discovery Club, where we have a group of design discovery mentors, and students choose 3 mentors that they want to engage with. And when the mentors come, there are only 15 students with a mentor at a time. The mentor gives them a challenge, they work on it, they debate, they discuss. So it's a much closer relationship and not like a 1 to 180 or a 1 to 45 or 60, as the case may be. And many of the students have continued the relationship with the mentors as they go along. We also have people come. Oh, here's Design Up. Okay, we did. I don't know whether you know about Design Up, but Design Up is probably India's best design conference, and it's held in Bangalore. And this time, Design Up didn't. We had a Design Up at the BITS campus, so that was really exciting. The speakers who are going to Design Up came to us before they went to Design Up. So our students got to hear, see, and talk and have small group interactions with these great speakers. We also, here's a session that Professor Ice Life did on how do you design in areas where design is not supposed to be? How does one look at culture? How does one look at the fact that everything is going to be changed in the next 20 years or the next 40 years? And how does one design for that? We can go to the next slide, Kumaran. Here are some other people who've come into campus. Ankur heads digital design at Tata New. Just to tell you, when somebody comes in, it's not a 1 hour masterclass. I think Ankur was here for 18 to 20 hours. So working with the students, helping them, giving them a project to do. I think we have some more examples of people who've come into campus. Azmina, who's managing director at JP Morgan, she came and spoke to our students. Vasant, who heads design at VIP. And all this information is also available, I think, on Instagram or on our LinkedIn sites. But we're getting people from the industry, relevant people from the industry, to be inside our modules. So our faculty work with them, setting the context, and then they work with the students over 6 hours or 12 hours, as the case may be, to bring their knowledge into the classroom. We also want our students to learn, and I'm sure all of you agree with that a lot of learning happens through experiencing things. So right from day one, experiences or learning experiences are built into the curriculum. Of course, at our iLabs on campus, where we have wood and metal, textile, ceramics, laser cutting, we have a sublimation lab. Lot of students are working on their own personal projects also. In these labs, we have 17 3D printers, meta goggles, drones, things that sometimes one may not imagine that what can be done with them in design, but young people know. Young people are very creative and they want to do things. Our students are very intrinsically motivated to go spend time and create. So one place to experience things are at the labs. Also, our students are doing real world projects. Kumaran, can I just, yeah. So this is a company called Bhu Amrit, which is a farmer producer company, and that's Ruchira who worked with them on her community project. The next one, I think, is, yeah, we had 2 students who worked with the Bharatiya Agro Industries Foundation. So if you're looking at this, you'll understand that it's not pure aesthetics that they're looking at. They're looking at also design, understanding the people, looking at design systems, looking at processes that there are, and what can be done to design better. We have, okay, that's Gauri, and she did a project with Vatsalya. Actually, 140 students of the first batch went out on May 15th last year to 91 organizations. And they all worked with the communities to understand what is the situation and how, and bring in their design learning into practice. We also had the collector of Nandurbar district, who is, you can see standing in a white sari and a red kurta. She gave our students 3 projects. Our students went over there, stayed there, understood what it means like to be in a community, and then worked with them on 3 different projects. We had Vijay from the Federal Reserve Bank in the US come in, and also somebody from RBI Innovation Center, Sujan, to work with our students on why is it that all the financial schemes, etc., are not reaching the right people. So what are the stories that need to be told to communicate between the Federal Reserve Bank or the RBI and the NGOs and the end users, so that the money can be used and used as effectively as possible. Zomato Feed India initiative. So How do you get, so Zomato has agreed to feed a certain set of Anganwadis, but one of the things that our students found out is that students weren't coming to the school. So how do you create an environment that makes students want to come to school? How do you encourage their parents to bring them to school so that they can be fed and have healthy lives? Western Railways gave a project to our students on improving the inclusivity and dignity of people over there. So I think they broke up into 4 groups and some very interesting outputs, and Western Railway was really happy with that. This is just to give you an idea that you can carry on, Kumaran, that what our students are doing is real, it's real world, and it's identifying, understanding, identifying, and then slowly working towards solving. They're just in their second year now, so we don't want to rush that, but to look at every project from an economic viewpoint, from a finance viewpoint, or a supply chain viewpoint, or a behavioral change viewpoint, or societal viewpoint, so that the identification of the problem and then the solution is much richer. Here's another, this was also a Nandurbar project, bringing indigenous foodstuffs to the market. And here's something that I found quite interesting. Our students did a module called Designing the Future of Social Justice. And in this module, we had students from the BITS Design School and the BITS Law School working together. So every group had students both from design and from. This is just to give you an idea that this is something that is essential in design. No longer can you be a designer in a silo where you just draw logos. You have to understand the impact. You have to understand how the people around, or the disciplines around, the industries around are working with it. So right from the first year onwards, all learning at the BITS Design School is transdisciplinary in nature. Kumaran? Okay, we'll go quickly through some images of what the students like to do. Of course, they like the projects also. But at BITS, the club culture maybe is really strong. At BITS Pilani, it's more difficult to get into a club than to get a class, I think. So these are the lists of the clubs that have been made by our first and second year students, and waiting for the third and fourth year students also to come in and make it whole. This is really an opportunity to create an institution. That's what makes it exciting for me and also for our students. Here are just some images from the Dean's dinner, looking at architecture and culture in Mumbai. This is our sports event on campus, Akhada, and it's coming up in January. We also participated and won many medals in the inter-campus sports event that was there in Hyderabad. I think the BITS Design School did really well in that. Of course, going to industries, going to museums, going to places where products are made, all this is something that's important. Some students initiated and did a beach cleanup. I think it was really impactful, and they've asked to go back there again this year. Garba. And other cultural events. Rangreza is their cultural event. They have something called Evo, which is a gaming event. Sanskrit, and here are some images of the sporting facilities on campus. So we have 2 gyms, some indoor games, basketball, volleyball, football, cricket, no swimming pool. But otherwise, pretty much everything else happens here. I think also pickleball, I don't know what the difference between pickleball and paddleball, but one of them we have a team also that goes out and competes. Okay, and in all this, I think the intention is to give our students an environment where they can grow as human beings and flourish and learn as designers, But the most important thing for us really is the welfare of the students. Today, it's a difficult time for young people, and we place a lot of emphasis on making sure that the students also learn to cope and learn resilience and gain experience in a safe space so that later, when they go out, they're able to adapt well. So Empower is an organization that is set up by the Aditya Birla Trust. We have 3 Empower counselors on campus. We have 24 hours online facility available for them. And of course, I talked about Sonia, who is there to talk to parents, talk to students, and anything that students tell her is totally confidential. And we also of course, faculty work with students, but we also tell the students to go and meet Sonia and try to give them suggestions. So through this entire system, we're watching in order to help students before, while they are struggling, if they are struggling. Yeah. Is the next thing about admissions? Huh? Kumaran?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead. So
Thank you.
over
Thank you,
to
ma'am.
Kumaran for some details on the admission process. Please take screenshots. Please listen very carefully. Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Harroop. Thank you, ma'am. So whatever ma'am has spoken about, Harroop has spoken about the pathways, industry persons, collaborations, internships, projects. So the only path to reach this stage is through admissions, right? So we'll talk about the admission process, dates, scholarships. So let's start with dates. So I know that many of them have started applying to us, and a few will be in the mid stage. So the last date to apply is 1st of Feb, is the end of this month. So try to apply, please apply before 1st of Feb. So let me speak something about the applications, application. So students can apply with say an ID or UCIT score also, but for applying into BITS Design School, currently you just need to enter the NID or the UCIT application number if you have opted for that, if you have applied for that. Otherwise, BITSDAT is the compulsory option you have to appear for, because giving BITSDAT is compulsory, but the optional ones are either NID or UCIT. So try to apply with NID or UCIT application number before 1st of Feb. Followed by the BITSDAT examination. So BITSDAT examination is an online examination which dates you can choose, which is between 31st March to 5th of April. That's a 1 hour exam, online exam, which will be of say 100 marks and MCQ. And the content will be mixture of design thinking skills, your aptitude like quantitative, logical, verbal, non-verbal communication. So it will be mixture of everything, and it will be an online test or an MCQ. So there'll be no physical drawing test. So based on this course, whatever you have get an UCIT, an ID, or a BITSDAT, you are supposed to upload this course, because by 8th of April, you will be having all the scores of an ID, UCIT, and BITSDAT, because BITSDAT scores you will receive on the spot after the examination. So you are supposed to upload the scores of all the 3 examinations, and whichever exams you have chosen in the application form. Right. And even example, say if you are not chosen an ID in the application form, and you need to upload the scores, you can still upload the scores of other exams also if you're not chosen in the application form. So based on this course, example, say I have chosen 2 examinations. So one is say UCIT and the other was BITSDAT. So we'll take the best of the exam score. So based on those score and the number of applicants, we will select the top 850 to 900 students for the second round, which is portfolio and the interviews. So the shortlist announcement will be done on 16th of April. So only those students will be able to upload the portfolio, and for that the window is 16th to 20th of April. And regarding the portfolio, generally you'll be having a webinar on portfolio also, that what are the criteria, what are the factors that we look in the portfolio, what are the assessment criteria for interviews also. So we also have these links uploaded on the YouTube channel, and we'll also be having a webinar on this all these things. So the portfolio can be the PDF file and the video file. Uploading the video one is optional, but uploading the PDF file is compulsory. So all these details will be given to you when we'll be having the portfolio and the interview webinars. So just note down the dates for all these events. So the uploading portfolio will be between 16th and 20th of April. During this period, you are supposed to choose the date for the interviews, which will be completely online on Zoom, and each interview will be of half an hour. So it is supposed to take between 4th to 13th of May. And the final result, based on all these scores, that is exam scores, whichever scores you uploaded, either an ID or UC, and BITSDES, portfolio and interview. So the weightage for the exam score is 30%, followed by 30% of your portfolio score and 40% of your interview score. So whatever on the factors, the criteria will be discussed in the other webinar, which will be conducted in the month of March and April for portfolio and interviews. So now we come to scholarships. So many of the students has so many questions on scholarships that generally how to apply for the scholarship. Generally, all the applicants to BITS Design School are eligible for scholarships, including chancellors, merit and means, and merit scholarships. Now, whatever scholarships we are assigning to you is completely based on your merit. Merit score scored by you, exam score, portfolio, and the interview part, which combines to 100%. So the top 4 students will get the Chancellor Scholarship. Chancellor Scholarship means 100% tuition fees will be waived off for the specific student. So we have tuition fee and the hostel fee. So all the scholarships will be only on the tuition fee, and it will be active for all the 4 years. The second is merit cum means scholarship. So the student has to be in merit, and the students and the parents' family income should be less than 18 lakhs. And in that we have 2 categories, that is 50% and 75%. And the last one is merit scholarship. So this is purely based on merit, and we have 3 categories inside it: 25, 50, and 75. If we talk about the past 2 years, in the very first year when we had 140 students, we are given scholarship to 71 students. And last year, out of 180 intake, we have given scholarship to 90 students. It says almost 50% of the students studying at BITS Design School are on scholarship. And this year, we are trying to increase the scholarship to more than that what we offered last year. So maybe 90 to 95 students out of 180 this year's intake will get the scholarship. But there are 3 different scholarships. If you have any query regarding this, you can always call the counselors. You can drop a mail to us. The next part is the financing part. We have tie-up with several banks like Axis, ICICI, IDFC. Right. In case if you want any help from us for the loans and all, you can get in touch with our finance team or the counselors. Let's speak about the open houses. Open house is an event for the shortlisted candidate, means who are shortlisted for the portfolio and the interview round. Generally, we do have the open house for in Bangalore, Delhi, Pune, and Mumbai, where you can physically meet the dean, the faculties, the students, the admission team, program team, student welfare team. So you can meet physically with them, and you can have your doubts clear in all these 4 cities. Maybe we can have this open house in another city also. Apart from this, we'll intimate you. And these are the upcoming webinars. So today we are having the BITSDES info session. And so this will be a repeated webinar for the students who missed out today, which will be on 25th of January. So I was talking about the portfolio and the interview webinar also. So if you want to see the last year's webinar, you can go to the YouTube channel and search for it. And this year's webinar will be on 14th and 29th of March. You will be sent a link for that for registration, and same for the interviews. That's on 21st of March. So sorry, April. Over to you, Nandita. You are on mute.
We were having a discussion and as to like how do we make sure that students and parents who apply to us are the right ones, because maybe every student is not meant for a transdisciplinary education. And so our students suggested that maybe they will be happy in case you have any questions. So if you can reach out to any student that you want. I think I know that young people now reach out to students on Discord and Instagram, and you have your way, Reddit, and you have your way to access them. But in case you want to, you can take a screenshot. Here are some of our students who have said that they'll be happy to answer any questions you have. It's important that you make the right decision, because it's an extremely special place that we have here at the BITS Design School, and everyone is committed to make sure that our students have the best experience. So again, we're not looking for, oh, of course, we love it if you can draw well and you're very creative, but if you can't draw very well, but you can think well, you can collaborate well, you're able to make connections between different disciplines, you're curious, you want to do something in life, you notice things, and you ask questions as to how can things be better. Those are the kind of things also that we're looking for in our students. So do take a screenshot and reach out to them or anybody else that you may want to. I think do we have a video?
Yeah, we have video also.
I don't know how many of you have been to the Mumbai campus, but if you haven't, we have a short video that's taken on a drone of the Mumbai campus that Kumaran is going to take us through. Maybe just stop there. Sorry. Or you can, maybe Kumaran, can you use your cursor and show the Center of Excellence? So that's the Center of Excellence. That's the building in which we have all our laboratories. And then we have Academic Block 1 and Academic Block 2. Our classes right now are in Academic Block 2 on the 3rd floor, and the ground floor rooms are the study rooms there. And if you look at the space behind it, those are the hostel blocks, some of the sporting areas, and the space in front is all the spaces where students go for walks and hang out and have a nice time. So let's just maybe look at it. That's the Ullas River. That's the Center of Excellence where you saw the photograph with our students, with the labs, the libraries. Yeah, just carry on. It's really lovely. That's Academic Block 1. Sorry, just stop.
Oh,
So
wait.
from the Center of Excellence, oops, sorry. Yeah. So from the Center of Excellence, you can see this walk that was going, and on that side were other indoor sporting facilities. The building on the right that you see now is the cafeteria. Yeah, so that's the cafeteria. That's the cafeteria on the right-hand side. Those are the hostels behind it. I'm sure that, so there's your football field and the hostels. On the other side, you can see the basketball, volleyball, etc. There are shops on the other side of the walkway. Yeah, and classrooms. And of course, the pleasure of being in a place where we have management students, law students, and design students, and the opportunity that offers. Yeah. Okay, so I think happy to take questions now. Yeah. Varsha, are you doing that? Yeah.
Yes, I'll be doing it. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Kumaran. Thank you, Harroop, for the wonderful session. And we have some splendid questions from all our attendees. So we'll go with one by one. So there is a very good question from Jia Sharma, that does BITS Design School offer any student exchange program as well?
Okay, so Gia, yes, this happens in year 3. Like I said, we've put some credits for a international opportunity. This could be an academic exchange. It could be a project that's done in another country. It could be just a study abroad for 2 months. It could be students from India and students from the UK both working together on projects. So for the first batch that we are in the process of putting everything together, and we'll announce it to them in March. They will have multiple options and they'll choose which is the right option for them. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so there is another question from one of the attendees that candidate is very much interested in design but has not done a lot of creative projects, mainly due to academic pressure. Is there any chance for such candidate to apply in BITS design?
I'm going to ask Harroop to answer that, and then I'll take it on. Yeah.
Nice question. I think that's the pressure that all of us carry at this young age. But the thing is that if you have learned and if you have been studying thoroughly, which throughout your academic journey in school, there is a lot that you've learned. And all of that has contributed to your transdisciplinary abilities that we are also looking at. So if you think that you have the ability to think laterally, if you have the ability to look at things around, observe, and constantly have this conversation in your mind that, how could you improve things? How could it become a better and more livable world in the present and in the future? Then definitely. So creativity is not just the physical reflection of it. It is also in what you're thinking and how you're projecting your ideas. It all starts from there. So I think do not restrict it to just putting it on a 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional form. And that's what we are going to be helping you with. So yeah.
Super. Thank you. And for those of you who are anxious about that, remember that you have to pass the portfolio and the interview. So please go on the website. Maybe Varsha, somebody can put a link in over there. Very clearly, it's written what the criteria are for assessing the portfolio, what the criteria are for the interview. And for example, for the portfolio, you're not expected to do 300 drawings. You can put in a play that you acted in. You can put in some work that you did in your school itself, some leadership work that you did, but you need to at every stage be able to communicate what it is that you're trying to say, why you're putting that, and how that may connect to design. Yeah.
Okay, so there is an interesting question on AI. So how design incorporate AI in all branches? Is this advantage or disadvantage for the prospect of BITSDES students?
So I think AI is a given. So we should make it our advantage. And make sure that we are friends with AI, we know how to use AI, we understand and learn what AI is about and how to collaborate maybe with people who are creating AI, but at the same time, not lose the human that we are, the person that we are, the way we think, our ability to think critically. We have a lot of students who have now worked a lot with AI and who are saying, okay, for this project, I don't want to use any AI because I want to see what are the connections that can be made in my brain. I want to explore that. I want to learn more and so it's a combination of both. I think that AI definitely, we have to engage with it, but we should not allow it to just take over our lives. It should be used for making things fast, for prototyping, for, creating quick designs, but not for replacing our mind. I don't know, Harroop, do you want to add anything or are you fine with that?
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, Varsha.
Okay. So there is one excellent question from Khushi. That is, would students get opportunities to interact with companies early on through projects or internship?
I think that I tried to mention that. So students are working in a very careful manner with companies. So in year one, we try to focus on what we call transformative organizations. So people that are working in livelihoods, education, natural farming, environment, things like that. And year two, they start working with the regular companies. At the end of year one, there's a community project for 3 weeks. So the exposure to the transformation organizations help the community project. And then year 2 onwards, they're working with people in companies doing industry projects. And that leads to the internship at the end of year 2, which is an industry internship. But the students are out there from day one. I remember last year, I was anxious. Harroop and Adam were teaching a module, and I was like, no, you can't send them out on the first day itself. But they had more confidence, and I think the students had amazing learning.
Okay, that's great. So next question is for like BITS Pilani offers multiple clubs and fest and have a well-developed infrastructure. Will the same will provided for BDES, and what clubs and fest and infrastructure will be provided for the upcoming batches? One of the
Okay,
countries.
so I think infrastructure is as good or better than we have at any of the other Pilani campuses. And clubs are something, like I mentioned, that's very deeply ingrained in the BITS ecosystem. So already the clubs from different campuses are talking to each other. Our digital club is working with startup club of BITS Hyderabad. This goes on. And the students are getting the opportunity to build their own clubs. So they talk to the club representatives from other campuses, like from Pilani or from Goa, etc. But they choose what it is that they want to build. Some of the clubs are specific to the school, to the BITS Design School. That's what we've had so far. But now we're looking at having common clubs across the 3 schools on campus. So I think the opportunity is immense. Young people are just like amazing. And so nothing is going to stop or prevent them from getting what they want to get.
Okay. So next question is from Bhavya. What differentiates BITS Design School from other design schools, especially in terms of long-term career outcomes for the students?
Okay. So Bhavya, don't leave it on any school. You have to find a way to differentiate yourself. The school and the environment will help you to make that happen. It is my belief that all design schools are good. Each one is different. So, for example, if you are somebody that has liked to draw clothes or like to draw animals and you want to do that for your whole life and your career, then maybe this is not the right school for you. There may be other schools that are better where there's a lot more focus on the drawing of the garments. Are you with me on that? At the BITS Design School, we want to give you the depth that you want in your pathway, but along with the ability to collaborate, understand business, understand technology, understand human beings, be able to learn very quickly about infrastructure, finances, government, anything, because the problems that we're trying to look at or we want you to look at are larger than just one discipline. I hope that answers your question. You must go to multiple colleges and see which is the right place for you. So, yeah. Otherwise, put in one more question over there. Yeah.
Okay. So Ruhi is asking that, can you please explain the transdisciplinary part?
Okay. Harroop, I'll go and then you can add something to it. Okay. Design is a discipline. Okay. And in many design schools, they study just design. In many other schools, like if there's a design school in a university, you can go to the economics department and do economics 101 or marketing 101. Yeah. Of sociology 101. What happens then is you learn marketing, but what we found is very often some students, they bring that knowledge back into design. But many times, okay, I've got those credits, it's over. And that connection is not made with design. So what we've decided to do is that inside every module, inside the module, we learn about economics. Inside the design module, so if there's somebody coming to talk about HR or finance, there's a design faculty there with them. So inside the project, we're learning how to work with numbers. So that is what we mean by transdisciplinary. Knowledge is not made from one discipline. Sometimes knowledge is made from two disciplines coming together, but transdisciplinarity is where the knowledge is made from multiple disciplines inside, so together, not two people coming together like this. So when I gave the example of BITS law and BITS design coming together, that is not transdisciplinary. That is cross-disciplinary or multidisciplinary. But if you look at all the other projects we talked about, whether it's the communication of finance, whether it is the getting of food into Anganwadis, those are being done in a transdisciplinary manner. Harroop, do you want to add something to that?
No, I think it's just like what you said. It is the coming together of the thinking and looking at design as it's like the yeast in the cake, which helps it fluff up. So it cannot be in isolation of design. The transdisciplinary nature, which ties all the threads together and brings it up, is what it does. So if we live and if we experience things in silos, it's not going to help us evolve as designers. And this is what transdisciplinary nature of education does.
Super. What a lovely example. Thank you, Harroop.
Yes, I believe that will help the students. And there is another question from the attendee that since the program is new, how stable is the faculty expected to be over the course of the student degree? And are most faculty members permanent, or will teaching really significantly on visiting faculty?
Okay. So, sorry, I can't remember whose question was that?
It was one of the attendees.
Okay, yeah, okay. So, like I said, the right faculty is really important. And we do everything that we can to get the right faculty, meaning after we do a round of interviews, we have an external panel that does interviews. And finally, the faculty comes and does mock class with the students, and the students make the final decision. And after the students get the approval, then they meet somebody in the board of governors that there is. So the intention is to get the right faculty who has the same dream to create something special, who loves young people and who wants to work with young people to create amazing designers. Every hire may not be the best hire that there is. So there is bound to be some attrition. But our core, and I want to say like 80% of our faculty are full-time faculty. We're not only teaching, we're building an institution. We're building a place of reputation. We're creating industry engagements. We're creating international partnerships. And for that, it's really important to have full-time faculty because visiting faculty come and go. But full-time faculty really immerse in building the institution that BITS Pilani wanted to build. Yeah.
Okay. So there is another question, like one of the attendees only. So will the first batch receive the same placement infrastructure and recruiter access as established BITS campuses?
Absolutely, or if not more. I think our chancellor's eyes are very much on us. Mr. Birla is always looking to see, like, are we sure that we're giving the best to our students? So there is a great advantage of being part of the first 5 or 10 batches that there are, because everybody will go all out to create it. And the interest that has come in from recruiters or companies that work with BITS Pilani is huge. And more than that is the interest that has come in from alumni. The BITS Pilani alumni from around the world, they're coming in, they're visiting, they're calling, they're asking questions like, what can we do? Can we come and teach? Can we give projects? We want to help with the curriculum, so on and so forth. So the inputs that there are from the BITS Pilani environment is really amazing. I feel very privileged.
Okay. The next question is on for the scholarship. So how is the means-based scholarship 50% and 75% separated? And what's the criteria of the two?
So a merit list is made. Every student is eligible for a scholarship, either a merit scholarship or a merit cum means scholarship. For means, if the family income that they've declared with documentation is less than 18 lakhs a year, they automatically, the first set of students will get the 75%. Kumaran, is
Yes,
it
ma'am.
up to less than 18 or is it 18 and less? What is it?
No, it's up to 18.
Including 18.
Including 18. So it's also on the merit basis. So the top set of students will receive 75%, whatever the number is decided, and the lower set of students will receive 50%. It's applicable for all the scholarships, whether it's merit or merit cum means.
Yeah.
Okay. So next question is from Anushka. As a part of curriculum, are there semester-wise exam or assessment is done only through the projects?
Harroop.
So the assessment is ongoing, and so design is as much the process as the outcome of it. So it has to be assessed on an ongoing basis. There are no exams per se, but there's the culmination of your modules and the presentation of your work to the internal faculty as well as industry experts from that particular discipline who come and review the work. And at a midpoint in every module, the assessment could be assessment which is notional, where you have an understanding of where you stand and you can improve your grades, or it could be something that adds on to your final, depending on the kind of module and the duration of it. But the assessment criteria for every module is communicated at the starting point. And so the students are clear on what they are being graded on, and how these grades are being distributed is very clearly communicated with thorough verbal feedback, which is also shared. So there is always constant scope for improvement.
Okay. Yeah. So one of the student has a query that I have already applied for Bachelor of Design course and also going to appear for USEED on 18th of Jan. So how I apply for BITSDES?
So whenever you fill the form for BITSDES, so you have the question there to choose the date for BITSDES examination. Apart from NID and UC, if you're opting for that, you can choose the date for BITSDES also. So that comes along with the application form. So that's the mandatory question you need to answer by filling up the application form.
Okay. Yeah. So there is another attendee, Kavya. Wanted to ask that how does school support students in entrepreneurial ventures or launching design startups?
Yeah, so I think it's in the blood of BITS entrepreneurship. We have an entrepreneurship cell, or it's not actually more than a cell, it's the Pilani Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Society has placed Varsha here. Varsha sits with us, another Varsha, not this Varsha, sits with us in the BITS Design School. She brings in entrepreneurs to talk to students, and they always go to her and other people with ideas that they have. We started our first incubation round. There are 9 companies that are being incubated right now. They get inputs not only from Varsha, but from alumni, from entrepreneurs. This goes on. Apart from that, you have access to 100% of the BITS alumni. You can email anybody that you want. There are events that happen in entrepreneurship events that happen in Pilani, etc. Students also have to take the initiative. It's not like you can just come and sit and say, oh, I've got admission. Nothing is going to happen then. You have to decide how you want to be different from somebody else. What is it that you want? And then the sky's the limit.
Great. Okay, so we'll take last 2 questions. That is,
I have one more thing I want to say, Varsha. Sorry, this is about entrepreneurship.
sorry. Yes.
If you, of course, as entrepreneurs do, you may start many businesses. But if by the end of year 3 you have already in mind something that has, reached a stage that you want to take it to market in a more formal way, you can give a proposal that instead of doing a capstone project, you want to set up your own business, and you will get help, legal, financial help, etc., to do that. And so you can use your 4th year also to launch your project.
Okay. Shall we move to next question?
Sure.
Yes. So how do you compare your curriculum of BITSDES with IIT design program?
I don't know whether to ask you, Harroop. I don't compare it. I feel that the outcomes, like I said, in every design school are different. IIT is amazing. I mean, you cannot take away from anything that they're doing. It's just different. So we've had students go for the IIT end of year exhibitions, and they have come back and said that the students at IIT Mumbai can make better animal sculptures, can make better wall murals. But at least in the first 2 years, their focus is on the skills, the product, whereas our students in year 1 have to start thinking. So there is an equal amount of emphasis in year 1 on physical skills, the drawing skills or visualization skills, and thinking skills. And I think that is really the differentiator, that we're looking at design as a way of thinking, understanding systems, processes right from the beginning. And maybe that is one of the differences that they make. Harroop, do you want to add any other difference that you see? But this does not mean that this is the right place for everybody. You have to, I mean, you have to be that kind of person. Only then you will clear the entrance exam, and then you'll flourish. Yeah, go ahead.
I think what also matters is that the students have a lot of say in the entire process at BITS Design, which is very unique and which is very enabling, because at the end of it, whether they are being placed in an organization or they are starting off on their own, or they are with the government or an NGO body, the idea is to make them design leaders in every manner. So that kind of responsibility that they carry is something that they understand right from the onset. And like you rightly said, every place has a different culture, and different cultures may suit different kind of abilities and mindsets.
So yeah, I think I love the fact that you said that, Harroop, because like in year 2 itself, we gave them responsibility to conduct some of the events, but slightly guided. And now in year 3, they will have to come up with their industry engagement. So they have a lot of agency, and in many ways they know what they want and they ask for it. And that's exciting also.
Great. Okay, so next question is, like mentioned for the Chancellor Scholarship, top 4 students are selected. Are they selected based on scores, or if suppose they don't score well, but do get shortlisted and do exceptionally well in portfolio and interview round, would they have chance at it?
It's the total score. So the total score is out of 100. 30, Kumaran, tell me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
is for the exam. 40 is for the portfolio, and 40,
30 is for
30.
the exam score. Say if you're selected for the portfolio and the interview round. So 30% is for the entrance exam score, 30% is for the portfolio, and 40% is for the interview. So even if you don't score good in, say, either BITSDES or UCEED or NID, and you perform well in, say, portfolio and interview, so you have chance to get either of the scholarships, whether Chancellor, merit cum means, or merit scholarship. So that's the reason we have the combination of all these 3 processes. It's not like we are just selecting you only on the basis of the exam score or portfolio or interview. Yeah, the shortlisting part is done on the basis of the UCEED or NID or the BITSDES score, but the whole process is of 3 parts. So the scholarship, whichever is given, is based on these merit scores.
Okay. Kumaran, I have a question for you because
Yeah.
I remember this from last year. If you want to submit, and we want you to submit your NID, DAT, or your UCID, you have to fill those numbers up in the application form now.
Yeah.
You cannot
So
come later in April and say, I want to do this. Am I right, Kumaran?
yes, ma'am. So this year we have given them the provision. Example, say if I forgot to add, because in the application form, adding an ID or usage is not compulsory. Say I may opt out of an ID or usage, but giving BITSDES is a compulsory thing. But examples, I forgot to add these things, an ID or usage. So the first option is they can mail us before 10th of March that they want to add an ID and use it in the application form. So they need to send us the application number and the an ID or usage thing, and still they forgot to send us the mail. So whenever they get the window to upload the scores, they will have the option to add the NID and UCID score also. Examples, if I feel that I get a good score in ID after the NID result, still I have the chance to upload the score. So whichever option you opt for in the application form will be compulsory to upload it. But apart from that, if I forgot to add UCID in the application form, still I can add in during the upload window.
Okay. In my opinion, it's a really good idea to
Add it
upload all
now.
your scores
Exactly.
because you may be good. So you see it as a very different process of assessment. The NID DAT that just happened is very different, and the BITS DAT will be different. So, but we want students who think in all different ways because you can learn from each other. So we will consider you if your marks are higher in some other exam and not as high in the BITSDAT. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I would
So you
like to
must.
you to add one more thing. There's
Yeah.
a question on that how we compare the scores of all these examinations and come to a conclusion that we are taking the best of three schools.
So the question for me, okay. So
Yes.
what we do is we look at the marks and the ranks of NID and UCID and we normalize them with ours. So we have three sets of scores. Then you have the BITSDAT, you have the NID, and you have the UCID, and then we take the toppers from there.
So our recommendation is to, if you are already applied for an ID or UCID, please do provide the application numbers in the application form along with BITSDAT.
So if you've done really badly in one exam, nobody's going to, like, you won't suffer. But there's a chance that you've done well, you'll benefit. Okay,
So
Varsha,
there are
you
so
see
many
it?
questions around students'
Ah.
life in hostel and the city. So I would like you to get in touch with the students that we given the list
Correct.
on Instagram. So they will help you. They will help you better than us.
Correct.
Amazing. So, Varsha, have you answered all the questions that are there in the chat?
Just one last question, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So there is a question from Stephanie and Joseph. I could see there is a lot of focus in design strategy, design thinking, etc. Which is the great as opposed to just hard skill like design software. How much is both balance at BITS?
Okay, I'm going to say, and then I'll see whether Harroop wants to add. Your skill is also important. Okay. What you learn in the pathway is also important. It's going to be able to get you your first job. So don't say that I don't want to do design software or visualization or materials or anything. That skill is also possible. 60% of the learning is in the skill, but 40% of the learning, which is transdisciplinary, is going to be able to very quickly move you into a space where you can make recommendations to your founders, where you can talk about the value that design is bringing, where you understand money, you can play a part in the strategy of your organization, but that won't happen on day one. Okay, so it's a combination. The skill is what you learn to do, but the transdisciplinarity will make you think so that you can collaborate, assimilate, put things together so that you can very quickly move into a leadership position. Harroop, you want to add something?
Yes, I think absolutely agree with that point, and I feel that the skills are helping you communicate what you have learned through a transdisciplinary. pathways and your transdisciplinary modules, it's only then that you are able to take your ideas and put it into a 2D or a 3D form based on the desired outcome. But the skill will always come from the place of the context which has been set prior. So that contextual understanding is what will help you take the skill and build up.
Yeah. I think that, like, yeah, super. The one difference is that when say somebody from a management background goes into a room or into a meeting, they go in thinking they know everything. Likewise, law or engineer, they know everything and they don't have to learn anything from anybody. But design is different. In design, we go in with our skills, but we go in with the ability to say, I don't know anything, I want to learn. So I learn from the doctor, I learn from the philosopher, from the mathematician, from the politician, from the guy in infrastructure, and then I'll be able to put it all together. This skill is something that's really special, or this way of thinking is something that's really special that only design teaches you to do. So design is something that can really bring everything together towards, of course, a better world.
Yes. So with this question, we are end of the question answer series. And I believe we have answered most of the questions of the students. And I would like to thank you, ma'am, Nandita ma'am, Harroop, Kumaran, for this wonderful session. And everyone has gone all the information about the program. And definitely, if they have any of the queries, they can call anytime to the counselor. They can reach out by email to us. Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone, parents, students, and do reach us on our mobiles, on the email ID. We are happy to help you. Very good evening to all. Thank you so much.
Super, all the best. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.